Good afternoon, lovely people out there. I think we are very excited today to speak to, I call him the maestro of wedding planning in South Africa, to Aleit Swanepoel from the Aleit Group. So thank you so much, Aleit, for taking the time to speak to us today on our piece of the puzzle here with Yes Exclusive Flowers. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Alfie, Sylvia, for having me. It's really, really lovely. And I'm sitting at a wine farm in the middle of nowhere. I've never been here, got so lost in the GPS, and we're recording a TV show for the channel's name is Via. It's an Afrikaans show, and you have three teams making potjie kos. So I've rushed now, tasted all the pots, and then I was just in time for you and the listeners. And hello to the listeners and the viewers. It is really lovely to connect on this level. I know we are a nation of touch and hugs, but for now this will do.
Yeah, yes. we send virtual kisses and virtual hugs for the moment.
Mwah.
I mean, that is this is what like in our industry, I think we are, I mean, this is why we do it. I mean, at the heart of everything is love for people, love to celebrate, love for love. And this is very hard, I think, for a lot of people in our industry, not only on the financial and economic side, but really what it also does to you as human beings, because we are so much people's people. So I think that is very, very difficult also for a lot of people. But before we maybe like move like to our situation right now, and maybe how you're coping with this and your company, run us through, like, if you can, because I know your time is limited, to your beginnings, because I think this time also we have all taken also to reflect on how we got where we are, and like what made us to the people and the entrepreneurs that we are right now. And maybe like just tell us a little bit how your passion for events and planning came about, and whether it was a straight line or whether it was like more or less like a curvy way. So just share a little bit of your personal story.
Thank you, Sylvia, and Alfie. I've shared my story so many times that I'm actually tired of it. So I must actually reinvent myself and sound excited, but it is a beautiful story, and it's a story with hopefully a great ending. We won't know yet. In the beginning, when I was asked by you if I would speak on this, sorry, my WhatsApp. If I would speak on this forum or platform, I declined politely, I think, because I think we were in a stage of fear and also anger. It developed into being angry, and I think we're still angry now. Today, when I was walking in Woolies and all the masks, and I think, and the people look so sad, and when you smile at someone, they can't even see that you're smiling at them.
That's right.
So, yeah, it is strange times. It's strange that all the Women's Days that I was going to speak at has been cancelled. And it's normally at events such as that I will share my story. It is a straight line, but it's not it's a curvy line as far as childhood. I was bullied terribly at school, especially in the one school where I was in standard 7 and 8. They say you know your age if you don't say grade 9 and 10. And it came to a point also that I had to be financially independent, and I had to make that decision because my parents couldn't provide. I love them dearly. My dad was a pastor, so we moved so many times, landed up in the Strand at the age of 15, and this culture child that couldn't play rugby, that was never chosen in PT for, you know, Eugene's team, Mark's team, Skulk's team, and I was always the one left. Nobody wanted me. Piano lessons I had to do with nobody knowing that I'm taking piano, otherwise you're gay, definitely. And then also fights at the dam. It's now, how many years later? 25. And I had a surfing accident. It was my first time and my last time surfing. And when I went for a nose job, in order to fix my nose that was hanging next to my nose, the doctor said, Aleit, you've got 2 nose breaks from childhood. And that was fighting like at the dam, And it got to a point where I just told my parents, I will waiter even harder and I will work every holiday, day and night, but I want to go to Stellenbosch High School. God only knows why Stellenbosch High School. It was that little voice that we all have. Some people call it sixth sense, the Holy Spirit, intuition. I know what I call it, but I followed that voice. And since I made that decision, paid my own bus fare, my own school clothes, my own school fare, in the end, I went to hospital. I was immediately head boy of the boarding school, immediately prefect, A candidate, gold Eisteddfod winner for public speaking with this Afrikaans accent. It was an Afrikaans school. And my life has changed since then. And that was all because of humans that deposited into me, that believed in me. Yeah. And I think a big reason of that brought about, it's probably 15 years later, the Aleit Academy, in order to deposit in other people within the event industry. I mean, we have 120 students in our 3-year course, and they're all studying during lockdown. We went online, I believe, before UCT, and I'm so proud of my team that we have this. So a career organically just grows. Mine started with waitering. I love serving people. God gave me a heart to serve. The other day, I did a video on Facebook for the actors and actresses to raise money because they don't have work. And this was now about 2 months ago. And this one woman went on there. She said, "Oh, Aleit, spare me. Your drama doesn't impress me." And she said, why could the actors not save up and work wisely with their money? Why don't you sell your house and give actors the money? And it was just so horrible. And I was broken. And luckily people start ripping this person apart. But I was trying to do something good. And you have that one person out of 500. And that is, for me, I'm reading a book of Robin Sharma at the moment. And he says if you can just make one person smile per day, you had a successful day.
Yeah, exactly.
Even during lockdown, I'm thinking of people, and once again, that little voice. Why am I thinking of Shirley? Give her a call, WhatsApp her, tell her you think of her. And it's like you said, Alfie, we are reflecting during this stage. But also, we are reinventing ourselves because we have to. And also, you get to know people, because all of a sudden, I found friends of mine are the most selfish people. It's all about them, their kids, their houses, their money problems. And that for me, that makes me not feel optimistic about certain areas of my life. So it's also a time of clean up. But back to my career, you must please interrupt when you do want to. So then I went to London. Horrible story, no success. 3 months back at home, registered for my BCom. I knew I had to do something with my life. Registered for my BCom, became restaurant manager at Capetonian Hotel at the bottom of Adderley Street. My rent was 890 Rand in Friedhoek. My car payment was 780 Rand, and I was very, very proud of my midnight metallic blue Toyota Corolla. And the color was very important, midnight metallic. Yes. And my salary at that stage, we're talking 93 to 96, was 2,800 Rand. And thereafter, I always knew I'm going to work at Oude Libertas, and that's where the weddings started. I probably coordinated 300 weddings there for free. You got Aleit with the venue for free, and I would book everything. And then I was promoted to Distel, the biggest wine and events company in South Africa. And by fluke, somebody asked me to plan their wedding. It was an 8-cake wine estate. I'll never forget that when the bridal couple walked in on Say a Little Prayer by Dionne Warwick, I was like, oh, crap. There's no chairs for them at the main table. And I was like, what? Luckily, they were the kindest people, Caroline and Kuni. And that evening, I went home and I said to Marjorie, I am cancelling my business in Masters and Leadership degree. I am going to start my own company. And then a friend of mine did a photography course. I stayed in a very small flat in Stellenbosch on the river. And my office was as big as a small dining room table. It was a massive decision to buy a fax machine for 780 Rand, and your clients would fax you, and it's a long purpose. Then you must cut it yourself. Yes. You were always wondering how.
Enough to know a fax. Like I know that. Yeah.
You remember that? Yeah, we're about the same age. And then I was always
I still
wondering.
remember it.
You okay? Don't tell. Let people
We're not
wonder.
giving away too much here.
Yeah. And then I was always wondering, how the hell do the papers now go underground to my client in the UK? I couldn't understand it. And I'm not tech savvy at all. Everyone, to do the Zoom call, I was already nervous earlier. I must just start earlier so that we can test it. And I know you feel the same, being German and all. and, and yes,
But
then,
it's,
Yeah.
yeah. No, carry on.
no, oh,
Now, I just wanted to mention in the meantime, what goes to my mind is like interesting enough. To put this in a nutshell, you have not been chosen as a child in either one team, but you made your own A team now. I mean, this is exactly like what a leadership is, you know, that
oh,
you
that's
made
sweet.
out of something very special. I think you have proven that you can create your own team. You are not related on anybody's team.
And I
Yeah,
think this is what
those
yeah,
guys
sorry.
from school can choose a finger now.
Exactly. And I
Yeah.
think now also we have Ellie here from Turquoise Squirrel. She's actually a cake maker, amazing cake maker.
An amazing cake maker.
Yeah, in Johannesburg. So she says, thank you so much for sharing your story. And I think this is also why we have initiated this platform. And that's why I'm very grateful also that you are here, because we wanted to have this platform to be inspirational for people in a time like this. And I think what goes very deep as well is what you said personally. I think we have seen a lot of shades of people like in this pandemic, and we still
Yeah.
gonna see them like in the time to
Yeah.
come,
Nice to
which we would have never expected. But this time is a very unusual time. It puts a lot of pressure on people, but people show their real color right now.
Oh, yes.
And I think also in a position like you are and many others who maybe have thought they have a lot of good friends and they have a lot of people who support them. There were just a handful of calls maybe, or a handful of people that reached out. At least that's for us the same,
Yeah.
you know, where you can really say, you know, they ask you, how are you, Aleit? How was your day? How are you coping? Are you fine? Like, how is the business? I mean, obviously everyone knows that the business is like not as what we expected to be it, but just those personal like messages and those personal relationships are really essential. And while we cannot have this like in person right now, at least we wanted to provide for a platform that gives people the chance to relate. And I think that is very important. And especially, I mean, you are a leader in your field. Like, there's no doubt about it. You have created something that a lot of people are very ambitious, maybe even to copy. They will never reach. They have to do it differently. But I think it is important to share a story. And I believe for myself, I believe that that people right now might be in a very difficult space. And as you also rightfully said, not everyone is ready to talk about it because it's difficult, you know, in an industry like ours, where we have to make everything shine, we have to make everything look perfect, we have to make everything look like there's no problem. And I mean, we are problem solvers, but this is beyond our own control. So
Yeah.
I think it's just very important. And again, I just really want to appreciate it, that you are here, and that we may even like be able to talk to you again.
And that you speak so frankly. I think this is also something what is very important in these days. We don't have to polish our history or our
where we are from.
Where
you
we
know?
are from,
I think
that shaped us.
yes, I think every little step that we are right now is because of the history that we have gone through. How do you like? Do you agree?
Yes, I think the rest of my story explains it as well. You know, you get stronger. The challenges forms you. Childhood, in the end, you become a parent. That forms you again. But if you take the rest of the story, and my story is not more important than anyone listening or watching right now. Not at all. I believe we are all on the same level. If you're a gardener, if you're working at the fuel station, filling up cars, that is so important to respect other humans. And it takes time to get to that point. And yes, I also freak out sometimes and lose it and leave at an event and think it wasn't perfect. It could have been better. It's never perfect for me. And I always must strive to go further. But back to the story, and then my friend that did the photography course, we shot a 4-page website, and this was now in the year 2000. 4-page website, cut pages thrown on the table, napkins packed neatly, plates stacked, a bride and a groom's photo that's abstract, and within 3 months I had 17 weddings, with which was mainly from abroad, and I had to quit my day job. So I would work at night through the night, and then I go to my 8 to 5. Then I'd answer brides again, or lunchtime I will see them, Scallum, if they come to South Africa, at Overberg and Stellenbosch normally. And then my deal was, if I have 20 bookings, I'm going to resign. And on 17, I couldn't cope anymore. And that's where it all started, and it's grown organically. There was a lot of failures as well. I started a jewelry company in association with Buzard Bauermeister, top jewelers in Stellenbosch. They're not there anymore. And I thought brides, rings, diamonds in South Africa, much more cost effective than in the UK. And after 3 months, I had the most beautiful website. And after 3 months, I was looking at this website and I thought, Aleit, you didn't sell one ring. Not one. So what did I do? I just pressed delete. No more jewelry company. Nobody needs to know at that point. You understand? But then...
just press delete. I like
yeah,
that. Don't even put it on your CV.
Yeah, never been there.
I have to remember that. This is a very good one. I like that.
I've pressed delete quite a bit in my life, but it's very important to always appoint people that's stronger than you, that I've learned. Your ego, you must bury, because it can bury you alive, especially guys. You know, it's like two dogs weeing against the same tree. You understand? That's what gents are like. So you must empower other people. That I've also learned, because in the beginning I did everything because nobody can do it better than I can. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
And it's not true. And finance is not my strength at all. And why do I want to sit and do the finance, you know? And then you get to that point of having to trust people. And that's why we have a company now with 85 staff members, with 11 subsidiary companies, because you appoint stronger than you empower, you trust, you train, you educate. But it takes time to get to that point. And now it seems as if I'm sitting here boasting about how wonderful it is. It is not wonderful at all. It is so crap. That's why I didn't want to talk to you a few months ago, because I didn't want to talk to anyone. I don't want people to know that we are failing. We are busy failing because we're not open. And first you pay your staff a certain amount, then less, and then what? How long is this going to take? So no, I'm not saying the Aleit Group is failing, not at all. I'm saying it's tough out there, and we must fight hard in order to be able to stand when this is over. And what I do now, I just do charity all the time. The other day, people ask me to do charity. I have so much time at hand. Let me do charity. Cancer Foundation, my primary school in Worcester contacted me. Interviews such as this. And this is a time that we can invest again in one another and stop pretending that we're fine. Nobody is fine. Nobody is fine. And I pray and hope that we will be fine, but certain changes needed to be made in order to come back to something. You have to understand that Aleit Group started at weddings. Then we had a corporate client, Lindy, where a wedding client, her wedding was on top billing, and she said, these guys are awesome. She moved to Joburg, and she said, I want them to do our events at APSA. And then then we thought, okay, but why do we book chefs? We can do our own food. Then we started a catering company. Then we thought, okay, I'm sick and tired of the girl with the big boobs and the high heels that's 21 years old, that's dad has money, and she organized his 40th, and she's now an event planner. Because it's not fair towards the client. It doesn't show any integrity whatsoever, and there's no risk management. There's so much that can go wrong. And what about our industry? There's no association controlling the event, wedding, decor industry. Not at all. Yes. I wanted to start it, it didn't work. Delete. Um, and yeah, so so you have to understand it all feeds from another. If there's no wedding or event, there's no booking for A Create for styling and furniture and floral. There's no food for Bertus Basson. There's no bar and staff needed. There's no Lawrenceford Market that's running. There's no Cape Town branch. There's no Sandton branch. You know, it's also interlinked. I'm not mentioning all the companies now. And how can you then pretend that you're fine? You're not fine.
No. No.
So
I think it's like, I mean, it's just real, you know, and I hear this, I see this in the comments, and I think people really applaud you for that as well. I think there is two problems, like also for, I mean, for just people like us, you know, wedding planners or people who are in the event industry usually are problem solvers, you know. I mean, there is no problem big enough that we usually cannot tackle. I mean, this is why people pay us. They pay us to solve their problems that they have.
yeah,
And when you are working in a certain like level of industry, like high-end luxury events, basically everything needs to be perfect. You are a perfectionist at heart, because this is, again, the expectation that people have towards your job. So right now, you cannot do either of those, you know, like you cannot
even solve your own problems.
You cannot solve your own problem. But the most difficult thing also that I face is I cannot, with like a good heart, even speak to my clients and offer them a solution, because I cannot right now. I don't even know what to tell them. And I think this is the hardest part, like apart from everything else that is out there in the world, is like, people have expectations towards us as like high-end luxury wedding planners, but we cannot fulfill this. It's not right now. What they're paying us for actually is to make a plan for them. We can't do this. And this is, I think, something that for a lot of people they are facing, and it's really tragic. And this makes us doubt ourselves, you know, because we are like, okay, I cannot even handle this. Like how to move on from here?
Yeah, but that was also the point, like quite like right at the begin, like after 2-3 weeks, we spoke to a lot of people, because we thought now it's time to reach out to our clients, to the florist, to the brides, to our supplier, because we had a lot of time, you know, and we used to be on the phone the whole day, you know, like coming from 100 down to 0. That is actually the biggest horror for me that has happened to me. I didn't know what to do the whole, you know. So I thought, make the best out of it, reach out to people. And out of this, we actually got to know that the most of the people were very happy that somebody called them, because it was the same situation for them. They had, like, from one day to the other, they had no communication anymore, while before we had all day, like, full communication. So Alfie then came up with the idea to say, listen, all the stories that people actually telling us over the phone, why not sharing this with others? Because it is so inspirational to see, okay, this is how the one
I'm not alone, you know, like as you say, I think there are hundreds of people right now who just telling me they feel exactly the same. Like, it's not just an isolated problem right now. And I think that is on the one side a good, but also on a very terrible situation, that everyone we speak to, whether it is in whatever industry, you know, they can all relate, and wherever, in whichever country they are, they can all relate. But it's like, I think it's even healthy to say, you know what, in one sense we are failing, but okay, take it. Don't maybe necessarily press the delete button, but see how out of these pieces, you know, we can make something. And I see also in the industry, I see it specifically in the flower industry, there are a lot of people who are in a way reinventing themselves. I mean, it's adapt or die, but by the end of the day, it's really something, I think something good will come out of this for, I hope, a lot of people. But let's face it, there will be also a lot of people who will not make it. So this is the reality of the situation, sadly, that we are in. But I do believe that for a lot of people, this will create chances that they would have never thought about, because they never had to. You know, we were very comfortable, like before, specifically like us also, we had our baskets more or less in the same industry. which made us now realize, whoa, wait a minute. Like, this is maybe not the right thing to do. Like, I mean, it's all interlinking in a way. And we thought we were clever, because we thought,
Yes,
okay,
yes,
because
yes.
like you have like catering, waiter, like venues, staffing, like, I mean, events, like you have it all under one umbrella, all under one roof. But maybe we need to just like go one step back and say, whoa, okay, now let's take the time and see how we can go from here. So really, I really say, like, thank you, like, for that. And I know that you need to run off very like soon now, and I don't want to keep you too long here. But I have one question maybe that I want you to answer, and then maybe we'll have you on another time.
Please.
Looking at the situation right now, and I think a lot of people in the events industry, they are looking for clarity. They are looking for answers. I mean, yesterday we have spoken to Sarah Haywood from the UK, one of the most leading wedding planners in the high-end market, and she's facing the same problem. You just said, and I want you to maybe elaborate a little bit more on that. You said you failed to create something like a lobby for the industry. What do you think personally is the way forward to maybe collectively combine voices to make us as an industry heard, and our concerns and our voices to be like reached where they need to be heard?
I'm not sure if it's going to help financially and economically to be heard. We won't know that for the next year or so. I think platforms such as this is very, very important for people to be able to be transparent. I was very lucky with when the virus launched, is that the correct term, in China. My business partner, Lewis and Squinny, was like, we need an emergency meeting tomorrow, no excuses, everyone to be at the office at Lawrenceford. Joburg team, you can Zoom in. Here was sitting 35 people, team leaders, at our offices in Somerset West, and I was like, "What the hell? What does he want to do? What are we going to do? It's a virus. What does he want to meet about?" And it was so amazing being proactive in order to also emotionally support your team for them to understand that. I mean, what they had to experience, financial challenges, etc. We set by example. We had to. We have to. But in order to have something to come back to, and I think the main message for a lot of companies is that it's going to be back to basics. Our foreigners are not going to stream in. Our winter season must become a summer season. We need bums on seats in venues, in restaurants. I mean, 50% of restaurants closed in the Western Cape. That's my own stat that was applicable to Stellenbosch, to Somerset West, to Kalk Bay. But that's a lot of people that went under.
Yeah.
So I just said, in order for me to not go crazy on my own, I'm going to invest the money that I would have spent at this chain restaurant or having a fancy dinner or wine pairing that I'm not crazy about, because I do that every weekend normally at work, to rather invest that money and talk to my psychologist of a few years ago. To clean up inside and to get rid of, I mean, my Reiki woman that stayed down the road, she now moved to, and I'm not very in alternative healing, don't think that of me, but she moved to the UK. And I had a session because I'm like this. It's as if I'm bipolar during this time, And in the end, you still need to be a great parent as well. So, with that stupid homework. But I think it's a time where we found ourselves. It's a time that, if I say back to basics, you're going to have to possibly sign that booking yourself. You're going to have to possibly send that 1,000 emails in the year that you plan a wedding yourself. You might not have the luxury of a whole team underneath you.
Okay.
That is very true.
That's very true. And I think, I mean, it's obviously going back to basic. I personally think there needs to be a discussion with governments. I personally think that, because I think that there's there's a lack of understanding, that there's an entire industry that is waiting for just a clear answer. And not only an industry, you know, there are couples out there who are waiting to celebrate their love with their families, and in a way that they understand like how it can be possible, even like, you know, and when. And I think that is something that we also as planners and everyone involved in the process, like really from the venues down to even people doing stationaries for those events, and cakes and
Balloon,
like
whatever.
everything, like it's a whole process. When we do not know that, we are in limbo, like we are in the air, we have
Yes.
nothing that we can really grab. It's tangible, and I think that is very, very dangerous also, because people are losing hope. Like, I mean, as I said, at the heart of everything is love. And I have seen even personally that due to this situation, people are just losing hope to celebrate. And I think that is the most beautiful thing that we have, like as people, that we celebrate the love for each other,
Yes.
that we meet, that we hug, that we dance, that we, you know, just express our love for our, like, for the other. And I think like it's important because it's important for our well-being. And we are speaking about a pandemic, and we're speaking about illness and health. I mean, you say like invest in yourself, invest into your own body, invest into like your well-being,
well-being, yeah.
but also this creates a well-being, obviously considering health and safety standards and social distancing, like where it makes sense. But I think just to engage into a conversation like this needs to be done with governments. But this is just my call, maybe for anyone out there that is like looking at it from the same perspective.
Yeah, we have
and
to.
financial support. I mean, as you say, I personally believe that we need more financial support, because we cannot even operate on a small scale. There's either you plan a wedding or you don't plan a wedding. There's no in between, you know, not like as for restaurants where they can maybe operate on a 30% scale, 50% scale, and then open 100%. And for us, we cannot, like, even if tomorrow they would say they open the wedding sector, there will be no wedding tomorrow, because it takes time to plan. Like,
Yeah,
it's just
exactly.
like this is like, yeah,
No,
this is how I see it.
that's exactly the same view that I have. You know, people must book tickets. Are they allowed to book tickets? Will there be planes
Yes.
flying from Europe? Will the borders be open? I think our industry is an industry that's neglected terribly for the past 20 years since I've started the company. If you use the word golf, everyone is up in arms. Yes, golf, golf, golf. The wedding industry on its own, I'm not even talking about events, is much bigger
It's
than
not
golf.
even recognized as an industry. Like, this
And
is the
that's
biggest problem.
unfair. That is unfair. And I think together, and it's not wanting to sit here, bitch and moan, thinking we're the only industry. There's a lot of other industries, but
Yes.
they must understand what we contribute towards the South African economy as a whole.
Yeah.
And it's not a 9 to 5 job. We work our asses off till
Yes,
12.
that's why I just want to say
4 in
thank
the
you so
morning.
much for your time. It was a
Thank
real
you.
honor and a real pleasure for your honesty, and all the very best with your show right now. We're also going to have lunch because we didn't even have that.
Yeah.
So thank you. Stay safe,
Love
be
you.
well, and all the very best for now.
Thank you.
I'm just gonna
Thanks.
leave.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. Bye.